Alf, we're back and operating on very little sleep. Friends, how are you? I hope that you've had an amazing weekend. I'm going to explain why I'm so tired in a second, but today we've got some big news. We've got a card collector paradise that opened up in Southern California here over the weekend, and we've got grading numbers in, and they absolutely sizzled in the month of May. Before I dive in, speaking of grading, take $25 off your first submission over at PSA with the SCD25 promo code at the shipping and billing screen. $25 off, just a one card minimum to try out PSA. Don't forget to tell a friend. Maybe you have friends that have never graded with them. Have them take advantage of that discount. One of the only places left on the internet to get a discount on SlabMags, 10% off your entire order with the Sports Card Dad promo code over at SlabMags.com. Make sure to protect the surface of your best cards and just display them like a boss. Like the Iron Man Robert Downey Jr. in the Iron Man colored SlabMag. All sorts of great color combos over there at SlabMags. Sports Card Dad for 10% off. All right, friends, before we dive into the news of the day, my wife and I went to Metallica in Charlotte last night.
Well, we got people right down here in the very front, I tell you.
Ron, one of my viewers, Ron, I think he was also there if you happen to see this. We were down on the field. And so I usually don't spring for better seats. To be honest, it's like, I'll pay the $70, $80, $100 or whatever it is to sit in the nosebleeds or whatever at a concert, especially in Bank of America Stadium. There's not really a horrible seat in the house. You can hear everything fine. Everything is just right there in front of you. But this time, I've been to Metallica 4 times. This is my 4th time going. And I was like, you know what? It's $300 a ticket to get down there. And we were literally 5 to 10 feet away from the stage. And so we sprung for the better tickets. Now, there's no seats. It's just standing room only. There was a little mosh pit thing that opened up next to us. It was really interesting, the vibe. Also, just crazy to me, the age groups that are there at Metallica. Yes, there's older folks. There's people that are my age. A lot of young people going to listen to Metallica, which blows my mind as this is an older band now. I mean, first time I saw them was over 20 years ago. I saw them with Linkin Park and a bunch of other bands. I can't remember the name of the tour, but early 2000s, like 2002 to 2005 time frame. But anyway, I did see them in Seattle going back 6 or 7 months. They still bring it. And I think James Hetfield is like 60 or 61 years old. Still bringing it, 2+ hour show, just going absolutely nuts. There was these giant beach ball things during Seek and Destroy that all of a sudden, like something hit me in the back of the head and I was like, God, somebody hit me with like a beer or something. No, it's one of these gigantic beach ball things, and there was like 20 of them flying around the stadium. It was insane. Actually, my wife got stuck underneath one for a minute. I had to actually pull her out from one of these gigantic beach ball things. So that added to the story. That was a little bit of a plot twist that we didn't see coming. And so even though we did pay up for the tickets, man, it was so worth it. It was so worth it because these guys aren't getting any younger. I don't know if they're going to be touring forever. And we'll always have that memory. I got some good video and everything. I mean, it was really, really cool. All right, let's start with the Gemrate data. The Gemrate data just hit, I think about an hour ago. I reached out to Ryan literally about an hour ago and I was like, I need to put a video together. Are you putting the numbers out today or is it going to be tomorrow? He's like, yeah, the numbers are going to go out in about 20 minutes. I'm like, cool. I'm not going to be able to make the video and edit it and all that before I actually put it out and beat him out to it or whatever. So it's perfectly fine. So not only did grading sizzle in the month of May, but again, for the 4th month in a row, beats all records. The PSA had about 1.65 million cards, over 1 million TCG, mostly Pokemon cards in the month of May. Pokemon continues to sizzle. I mentioned this previously. There is so much demand for PSA 10s, and there are some really nice spreads from raw to graded for PSA 10. So that's what we're seeing here. We're just seeing a lot of people trying to get those cards in and trying to get the first PSA 10s out to market. And Pokemon's going absolutely nuts. They also graded about 600,000 sports cards. It was up a little from last month, but one thing that was interesting, it's down about 30% year over year at PSA, which makes you wonder, is there's less people looking at grade sports cards, or is it a capacity thing? Where PSA has a lot of sports cards, but they're just trying to figure out what they're turning around, and maybe there's just more TCG over the last couple months that they're trying to get in through the door, and maybe it's just a capacity issue to where they've got a little bit of a backlog there with the sports cards, just can't get to them, so the numbers are a little bit funky there. CGC had a huge month. Now, I thought this was interesting. They graded something like 100,000 of the 50/50 Ohtani cards. It was just very interesting how this last month there was 100,000 of these cards. And so CGC, who normally does grade a ton of TCG, lower on the sports card side, they actually had 177,000 sports cards in the month of May. But again, it looks like there was some sort of a deal there. Something happened where you had just a ton of these 50/50 Ohtani cards that were graded by CGC in May. But they're up, I think, like 25-30% month over month for Pokemon TCG. So they are absolutely red hot for TCG and kind of separating themselves from Beckett. And SGC has never really graded a ton of TCG, but Beckett and CGC are kind of battling for second with PSA for Pokemon and TCG cards. And it looks to be that CGC is really pulling away from the rest of the group there. Card Collector Paradise opened up in Southern California, and it is the new Burbank card store. I want to make sure that I'm highlighting here a lot of the Burbank IG stuff, because Rob and Burbank, they do a lot more on their IG account than they do on YouTube, and there sometimes is not a lot of crossover between IG and YouTube. So I want to make sure that I'm sharing those clips, because I think it's important for people to see. You have a Rite Aid that has been turned into the new Burbank sports cards, and this is probably the most prolific singles card store on earth as it sits currently. Will somebody come to try to battle Burbank on this front? Burbank's been building their singles inventory for decades and decades. We're talking about tens of millions of cards. They've got kiosks there to be able to easily find player cards, character cards, and so forth.
Just a reminder to everybody out there in Instagram land, this is the actual hobby. This is fun. Quarter cards, $2 jerseys. I need a fifth table. We added a fourth. Oh, look what we got. Sammy. Folks are just everywhere looking at cards. 25 cents each. The best section in the whole industry as far as I'm concerned. Folks enjoying themselves. Love it. This is the face of the hobby, kids. Card father. Ow.
And the place looked really busy. It sounded like it was a big success as they opened that store. And so I wanted to make sure that I'm highlighting it.
Thanks for stopping by, folks.
I just got the notification.
Oh, you just literally got the notification? I'm live. Let us know what you think about the store.
All right. We're coming all the way from San Diego. So.
From San Diego? That is awesome.
3 hours.
3 hours to come to Burbank. I love it.
We just saw in a clip there was a guy that came from San Diego about 3 hours away. There's people traveling from all over the place to come and check out that new Burbank store. And that's going to be a hangout there with the 25-cent boxes, the 25-cent cards, and the 50-cent cards, the dollar cards. As Rob said, that is really most of our hobby, even though that is not necessarily the flashy stuff that makes it onto social media. So I do think it is important to highlight and just something to remember as card collectors out there, and for content creators like myself too. You know, it's not $5,000, $10,000, $100,000 cards. There are some people that are buying those, but most people are absolutely not, and just enjoying cards of their favorite player that happens to play for their favorite team or used to play for their favorite team. All right, my friends, I'm going to try to catch up on some sleep. I'm still recovering from last night, but you all start your week amazingly. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.